Hi audience. Today we've got a guest who is a homegrown social entrepreneur, Jonah.
Hi.
Jonah has an organization called Zero Posro now. He is trying to access locally grown vegetables to the people. Welcome to the
Thank you.
studio and thank you for your time.
Thank you. Nice to be here.
Jonah, I would like to ask you, you first started with a shop called Eco Postro, if I'm not wrong,
Yes,
long time
exactly.
back,
Yeah,
5 years back, 7 years back.
In 2018, end of 2018.
What was that? How did that inspiration came up about like to start a eco postro, like a sustainable shop? What is the scene?
Uh, so, uh, Actually, growing up here in Goa, we were always surrounded by so much of nature.
Mm-hmm.
I grew up in a village called Siolim,
Mm-hmm.
where we had a lot of fields on one side and we had this river on the other side, and we spent so much of our childhood being connected with nature.
Yeah,
So,
proximity to nature. Yeah.
yes, exactly. So, I guess being close to nature has always been part
Mm-hmm.
of
Mm-hmm.
like of our
Upbringing.
nature
Yeah.
upbringing. And one day, my then business partner,
Mm.
um, Eldridge,
Mm.
he used to run a restaurant
Mm.
called Eldo's.
Mm.
And one day, the two of us, we were talking about how we can convert his restaurant into a zero waste restaurant.
Mm.
Because seeing how much waste
Mm.
uh, uh,
Bus-
seeing how much waste
okay.
business creates.
So when you're talking about waste, sorry to cut you.
Yeah.
What do you mean that the waste, food waste of the restaurant, or like?
No, dry waste coming
Okay.
from the kitchen, because the kitchen has the highest form of consumables. You have
Okay.
rice packets,
Mm.
oil
Mm.
packets, masala
Yes.
packets, right?
Yes. Yeah.
So, like from a household, let's say you have this
Mm.
much of waste, and at the moment you start thinking in terms of a commercial business, the waste is a lot more.
Okay. Okay.
So one day we were thinking, how can we convert his restaurant into a zero waste restaurant?
Hmm.
So we started to source locally. We started to source things from people's households where we could take our own containers and go.
Also, that is helping you not to buy the packaged goods to cut down on them.
Exactly,
Okay.
exactly.
Okay.
Zero waste in terms of dry waste from the kitchen.
Okay.
And
Okay.
then one thing led to the other, and we
Mm.
set up a little shelf in his restaurant
Mhm.
to also retail these same products that we got for his restaurant. And then popularity grew. Customers who came to the restaurant wanted to also buy these zero waste things from us.
Mhm.
And then one day we thought, hey, why not? This is working. So let's see if we can convert, to actually decide to build a whole store.
Mm.
And that was the idea behind coming up with
Yeah.
Eco Posro.
So in a postro, when you say, like back in the 60s, 1950s, like they will uh, fold it in a newspaper and give it to
Yeah,
you, or like something like
exactly,
similar things you started doing.
exactly.
And where were you sourcing your food from? Like
Uh,
food stuff. What
so in
was?
the beginning, we were sourcing from different farmers all over India.
Mm-hmm.
We had a local section as well,
Mm-hmm.
but we were not concentrating so much. I mean, we had a very like broad encatchment area.
Mm.
So we were getting, of course, rice from Goa, sea salt from Goa, but we were getting a lot of millets and spices and everything from different farmers scattered all over.
Okay. And then now you've got this another organization called Zero Posro. How did that happen from Eco Posro to Zero Posro?
So
How's the journey?
yeah, so in 2020, EcoPosro, we rented a small little house actually in Anjuna,
Mhm.
and we decided to convert that into our new store. So just after finishing doing it up, we had to redo the roof, plumbing, electricity, and everything, and we actually started business from there. And hardly 2 months after that, COVID hit in 2020.
Right.
So during COVID, we actually stopped, restarted a few times. It was quite a difficult time for us.
Mhm.
Um,
And also there were no supplies. You
there were
you
no
couldn't, yeah, you
supplies.
couldn't go out
There
to
were no
get it. Yeah.
supplies. Yeah, there were no supplies. We were also like a little bit cautious about going out to too many places. We were both looking after family members at home and stuff like that. And it was during this time when my then business partner, he went back to the restaurant line, and I started speaking with Sanjiv from Sensible Earth, and Sanjiv and I decided uh, uh, to restart the store, and then now it has pivoted to Zero Postro, and the zero being we are now concentrating as much as possible on local food as well. So
Okay. Okay.
So we now have taken it like upon ourselves to have this local challenge as well. So not only are we zero waste, we also try to be 0 kilometer. That's where this whole name comes in. So this is something.
What do you mean by 0 kilometer?
I mean, yeah, okay. So 0 kilometer means we're trying to reduce carbon footprint as much as possible
For the consumers.
for us and the
Okay.
consumer.
Okay.
So basically, the idea is that we are now trying to source everything from as close as possible. So if haldi, for example, grows in Goa, we will only source haldi from Goa. If pepper grows in Goa, we can only source it from Goa. If a certain thing doesn't grow here, we do breach the borders of Goa, but we try to stick to the Konkan region. So we don't unnecessarily source from something 800 kilometers, 1000 kilometers, 2000 kilometers away. So that way we are saving on carbon footprint when we source. And also while retailing, we are also as conscious as possible. We try to use electric vehicles, we try to club orders. So that's where the whole zero comes into play now.
That brings me to another question, man. Like, in a sense that Goa is infamous for not growing its own food. Every food comes from Belgaum or from Maharashtra. Like, where are these farmers? Where are you getting stuff from? Do you think there's a huge momentum is happening of growing local foods? How do you see it?
I definitely think that there is a new momentum which is definitely catching on now. It could be something that was sparked during the whole lockdown of COVID.
Yeah,
I think we all felt it.
Yes, yes.
We all felt it when all the borders were shut and the trucks were not entering. I think a lot of people gave up maybe corporate jobs or started doing things simultaneously. So there is definitely a local movement happening. But having said that, they have always been farmers doing fantastic farming here in Goa.
Okay.
I think unfortunately, like especially businesses don't source so much from Goan farmers.
Why not?
I think price has a very important role to play in this. I think the value of land is very expensive here in Goa, and labor is also very expensive. So what that does is that automatically increases the rate of rice or like whatever you're growing.
Got it. Okay.
And if you are a restaurant or a cafe, then it's very price sensitive. And yeah, so if you look at Goa, actually, we have, I think if my numbers are correct, we have around like 16 lakh residents who live here. But we have 1 crore transient population who pass through Goa.
Yes, yes. Yeah.
So, if you want to see a change in terms of numbers of actually sourcing stuff from Goa, if because like this transient population, they don't buy produce and take it home and cook in the hotel. They will eat at cafes. So it's when these cafes start sourcing from Goan farmers, that's when we can see an increase.
And the suppliers that you had from the time of Eco Posro, now that you are in Zero Posro, do you think that suppliers are increasing? Like from when
local?
Yeah.
Yes, definitely.
Yes?
Yeah.
Are there some farmer cooperatives that you are working directly with?
Farmer cooperatives, we are in touch with a few, but I would say we mainly work with private, people who do their own farming, like very small scale farmers. We've started a subscription model, which gets delivered once a week to your house. And how this works is that everything is sourced from local Goan farmers. So now that we spend a lot of time doing field work, we are slowly like hearing of other farmers doing the same thing, and farmers are connecting us with farmers.
Got it.
So we ourselves are learning about all these amazing farmers out there. And I have a feeling that the number of farmers is increasing as well.
Okay. And what is your operational area? When you said you go to it is across Goa, like South Goa, North Goa, both districts?
Well, no. At this stage, I would say Zero Posro basically works in Bardes and also parts of Tiswadi because of Panjim Donapal. So I would say this area. We are in the process of setting up like pickup points in the south as well, and like further up north as well. So then maybe once a week we can send stuff there. But when it comes to sourcing, we're sourcing from all over Goa.
Okay.
We get, for example, our jaggery come from a farming family in Perne in the north.
Okay.
We get indigenous Goan rice called kurgut from the south, from Kurtori, Lotoli area. And then same way from Valpoi, we get peppers. There's an incredible group of people working in the Mahadai forest for restoring around 150 hectares of land. The haldi powder comes from there. So it's scattered.
Nice. And what are your future plans? Like you want to expand this Zero Posro across Goa? That is what you plan to do? Like how?
Yeah, I would love to see Zero Posro grow
Mm-hmm.
because of the very strong social angle to it as well. Uh, if Zero Posture grows, that means the farmers are also
Yes,
growing.
yes. It is always complementary
Yeah,
and beneficial to both the consumer uh, as well as the grower, food
yes,
grower.
yeah.
Nice. And how long you've been doing this? Say 2015, you said 2018, you said
2018 was the first
onwards.
version
Yeah,
of the store,
yeah.
and then Sanjiv and I started Zero Posture in
Mm,
2021,
mm.
end of
Okay,
21. So it's about 2 years.
okay. And are you seeing a growth in your audience, growth in your people who are
Yeah,
subscribers?
we
And
we
yeah,
do, we
yeah.
do, yes,
Nice.
because I think fresh fruits and vegetables has always been a very important
Mm-hmm.
part. So
Mm-hmm.
I think a lot of
Mm-hmm.
customers are always looking for fresh,
Mm-hmm.
nutritious food. This whole thing of like eating in season, in region,
Mm-hmm.
like is very important, and people are realizing this now.
So, are you also doing some awareness about this that you have to have the fruit of the season or have locally grown things? How are you outreaching to people?
Um, I think honestly speaking, I think we could be doing maybe more in the
Social media, users of social media?
yes, in the
Okay.
awareness
Mm-hmm.
field, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, of course, we like to spend time with our customers.
Mm-hmm.
I still spend a lot of time in the store. I still
Mm-hmm.
spend a lot of time doing deliveries myself.
Mm-hmm.
So I get to spend a lot of one-on-one time with each customer.
Okay.
So I guess a lot of the stories get shared from there.
Okay.
And the subscription model, like people are talking about it. So like through word of mouth, that's really been growing.
Mm-hmm.
And it's also put us in a position where we can like walk up to a farmer and we can give the farmer like a guarantee
Mm-hmm.
that if
If
he
he
or
grows
she
this amount, you
we
will
can
buy
get it.
it.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
So that's
That's
been a
nice.
big one for
Nice.
us.
Yeah. Wow. This is a great initiative.
Thank you.
Yeah. And you give a promise to the farmers that you will buy it and all. How is agriculture department helping you? Like because the agriculture department has a lot of schemes. There is
Yeah.
this Krishi card. You get
Yes.
subsidies of when you get a tractor for the farming. You get a
Yeah.
lot of subsidies. Do you
Yeah.
think that is in this whole scenario, in this whole ecosystem of locally growing food, all these schemes are also helping farmers along with you
Yeah,
guys?
yeah. These schemes are definitely helping farmers.
Mhm.
Definitely. I think
Mhm.
most of the farmers that we know, they have the Krishi
They
card. And
have? Yeah.
yes, yes, they are.
Okay.
They have. They
Yeah.
have, and they do avail of a lot of the schemes. So
Mhm.
it is a very good thing that these schemes
Mhm.
exist.
Which is actually helping you, complementing your
In a
stuff,
way,
right?
definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
And if they do not sell it to you, where will they sell otherwise? Local
Um,
markets?
a lot of them, I would say, have a little stall on the side of the road
Okay.
where they would also set up
Okay.
the produce.
Mm.
I know that another farmer, he has fixed days, he has market days,
Mhm.
so he harvests, and then now through word of mouth, people go to his farm to pick it up.
Okay.
A third farmer, for example, he would give it to his neighbor who has a vegetable store.
Got it.
So I think people find outlets.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Nice. It's like a whole ecosystem is growing of like being sustainable in a food
Yeah.
production. No? It's
Yeah.
very good. I think it's the time Goa needs this.
Definitely.
And I think we're coming to an end for this conversation. I would like to ask you if it is not Zero Posro, what you would have been doing, just like
Yeah.
asking your personal aspirations. Did you always aspire to be a social entrepreneur like this?
Yeah, no, actually, this caught me by surprise.
Mm-hmm.
I studied film.
Mm-hmm.
I always wanted to get into wildlife documentaries.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I mean. I worked with a scuba diving school for some time. I used to shoot for them underwater.
Okay.
So I always wanted to do something with camera and nature.
Mm-hmm.
And it was on a certain holiday that I took from this job
Mhm.
that we started this store and this
Ah,
business.
yes.
So yeah, this definitely caught me by surprise. So I think if I was not doing this, I would maybe do something with camera and
Yeah.
nature though. It's
Thinking-
always back to nature.
Yeah, thinking about that, now that you're going to all the remote areas, meeting farmers, I think you can get your camera along and
Yeah.
do these stories. No?
Yes. Yeah.
And
Yeah. Yeah.
I think it will be nice to document and archive the struggles and
Yeah.
the life of
Yeah.
the food growers. Nice.
Yeah.
And lastly, a message to the Goans to grow food. What is the easiest way to be self-sustainable in a kitchen garden? How people can go about it? Like what is the easiest way?
In a kitchen garden, well, I guess you could grow a lot of like a lot of the
Daily
herbs
things.
and stuff yourself.
Hmm.
But I would say more if you're trying to be sustainable, I think it all starts with being conscious about it.
Okay.
It all starts with the whole thought process.
Mm.
So if you do things unconsciously, then you don't know what impact you're making on the planet. If you start
Okay.
thinking, like in terms of I'm going to start carrying my own bag, if I'm going to get like a tamri bhaji and I know that tamri bhaji is in season in Goa, let me source it locally. So like it all starts with just being more conscious. And if
Yeah,
we all
and
do
you-
that, we can
yes.
all play a very important role here in
Yeah,
Goa.
like a mindful living.
Mindfulness, exactly.
Yes,
Yeah.
We can start with taking our own bag to the
Yeah, that's a big
market.
one.
That's the first one.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's a big one. I mean, many of us remember, but like still many of us don't remember.
Mhm.
But like a nice thing to know is that even if you do carry your own bag, but if you do all your shopping, which comes like pre-packaged in plastic, you've only managed to reduce like a small amount because you've refused the carry bag. You're still creating all that. But if you start to shop locally, if you go into Mapsa Market, Panjim Market, you take your own little drawstring bags, you can really reduce plastic significantly.
And do you see that? Do you observe that this idea has come up to people now? This awareness is coming to the people who are taking.
I think so. I think so. This word sustainability, I think has really been used a lot now recently. A lot of big mega corporations are also trying to be as sustainable as possible. So I think a lot of people know this word sustainability. Now, like what they actually get out from this word, I hope it's the true meaning of it.
Cool. Yeah. Thank you, Jonah.
Thank you.
And all the best for Zero Posro.
Thank you
I
so
hope
much.
you've got a lot of places where people will go and get food from your vans,
Yeah.
your kiosks and
Yes.
stuff.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. Thank you.